So I wanted to touch base and talk a little bit more about marketing, because marketing is something that's really near and dear to my heart. Mm-hmm. What do you do? You know, Ross talks a lot about doing inside the box and outside the box marketing.
Yeah.
What for you has been like something that's stood out as what do you do when a new book is coming out? Like, run me an example of, like, you know, Firefly's coming out. What's the plan to kind of get people to know about it and talk about it and do something that's the same but still different?
Yeah, and I think Ross is absolutely right. I think you have to be inside the box relative to, like, there are certain kind of core block and tackling things that you have to do. You have to get your solicitations right. You have to announce and sell in on the correct timetable, right? And then there are very routine things that you have to do. You have to work to try to garner publicity. So that's, you know, interviews from various press outlets. You have to try to get reviews when the book comes out. You have to try to get advanced review galleys, typically a PDF, in front of retailers or in front of influencers or reviewers. But I think what we try to do with every book is, like, the trick with marketing is there's really only a certain number of levers you can pull. And kind of tools in the toolkit. And the trick is looking at the toolkit and going, okay, how do I take these tools and combine them in a different order, or kind of like position this tool and use it in a different way, so that each project feels like it's bespoke, right? And that, like, you're doing something unique for that project.
Absolutely. And I think it also goes as far as, like, what's the key demographic and knowing who that audience is, and you have to retarget for that key demo, because if you're not hitting those people, you're losing out on a bunch of potential sales.
Right. So with Firefly, what we looked at is, okay, well, what are the things we want to do out of the gate? It's a big franchise. It's been successful for many years in the direct market. And one of the things we looked at when we had the opportunity to get it is, sometimes we'll get a property like Power Rangers, and we'll go, you know what, we don't think this has really ever been executed properly. And so the opportunity there is taking an asset that we know has a huge following and executing it in the right way. And so it's about demonstrating that. And I remember with Power Rangers very specifically, it was that first image we wanted to release had to tell the audience that what they were going to get from us was going to be better than anything they'd seen before. And it was that Goni Montez
issue zero cover?
Yeah, and it was the red Ranger helmet. And
gorgeous. I mean, really something that, like, I saw that and I was like, whoa, like, this is, like, it's something that, like, takes your breath away. It looks like almost has an Alex Ross, like, element to it.
Yeah. And it tells you everything you need to know. It tells you, like, this is going to be epic. It's going to be treated seriously,
and it's going to be true to the original that you're a fan of.
The costume is exactly right, and you see the Zord in it, so you know the Zords are there. And what was, and I promise I'll come back to Firefly, but Power Rangers is actually a great example of something where the innovation there in the marketing was, we announced it right ahead of Comic-Con. We had an exclusive with the announcement with the Red Ranger cover, and then what we surprised everybody with was we had set up exclusive reveals of the other 6 covers at 6 other sites. So in a 48-hour period, we just blitzed the media with all these images, and the minute we released the second one, all the fans realized, oh, they're going to do a cover for each one of the Rangers. My favorite Ranger is going to have a cover. And it was about chasing and trying to figure out, when's the next one going to break? Where is it going to break? And then on top of that, we announced that, hey, not only are we announcing this at Comic-Con, ahead of Comic-Con, but at Comic-Con, we're going to have 6 one-page comics. And this was Bryce Carlson, our managing editor at the time, now our VP of Editorial and Creative Strategies, came up with this brilliant idea of, what if we took each one of the covers, and on the back of it, we did a single page of comic. So it's literally like a print. And then if you get all 6 of them, you get a short story because the stories connect.
That's amazing.
And then we blind bag them in different allocations. And so there's a chase component. So that builds excitement and kind of a fervor around it, right? So that was Power Rangers. That was like kind of the innovative out-of-the-box thing we did there. And then with Firefly, the challenge is Dark Horse did a tremendous job with it. You know, you look at those comics that they published and those graphic novels that they published, and they are, tremendously executed, really talented people working on it, Joss Whedon and his brother worked on it a fair amount, so you have as authentic as you can get because you have the original creator involved. And they filled in a lot of the gaps that fans wanted to know about. And so we looked at it and we said, okay, well, what can we do differently? And so when you're approaching Firefly, you have to start from start, and you have to go to the root of it and go, what are we going to do creatively first and kind of on a publishing basis that will differentiate us from what's come before and create some new excitement? And so, one of the ideas I came to Sierra Hahn, who's the senior editor that was first started working on this, was, as a fan of Firefly and Serenity, I looked at it and I said, as far as I know, the one thing that we've never seen is the Unification War, which is like
they've always hit it.
Saga,
they've hinted at it all the time.
Yeah, and so like you've heard about it. It sounds really cool. That's where Mal and Zoe first met, and they met Wash, and like how did that come together? And the other thing we knew, because Sierra had a good relationship with Joss, she had been his editor at Dark Horse before she came to Boom, was that part of the reason that there hadn't been more publishing is because Joss had felt like a lot of the themes he wanted to explore in the series had been addressed and explored. And so what we thought was exciting was in the Unification War, if like Firefly is basically a Western in space and exploring the themes of a Western in a space setting, well, the Unification War can be a Civil War comic. And how do we explore those themes? And also, like, in the current climate, like, there's a lot of division, and so how do you explore those themes? And so announcing that ahead of Comic-Con, because it's a big license, is going to get the attention. We wanted one image that really captured
the attention
and kind of like that we were going to do it right. And we knew we had to have a quote from Joss that said to the Browncoats, this is the story that I want to tell. These are the guys to do it, and it's going to be great. And then the real innovation, I can tell you, is going to happen at New York Comic Con. Like, that's where
people are going to kind of get
people are going to kind of lose their minds in terms of what we do.
Well, as a fan, I'm excited.
Yeah. So if you make it to New York, you should come to that to our Discover Now panel, because it's going to be cool.